is back into it in Chester. Here's El Senior. Yes! Yes!
The center back, Jacob Glesnes, is going for it.
Oh my God! What a goal! And that will do it! One of the best comebacks in recent years. 3 unanswered by the Union. And they go into the Gold Cup break, winning it 3-2.
Hello and welcome to the Free Kick Podcast. My name is Todd. Hopefully you guys are getting full and energized on Thanksgiving, so you guys have that energy for Sunday's game versus Nashville. Hopefully you guys bring a ton of layers. It's going to be a little bit chilly, but hey, I don't think that's going to discourage people from coming out to watch us play in the Eastern Conference semifinals against Nashville. If you guys enjoyed the atmosphere from last Saturday against New York Red Bulls, then I really do think we can make Subaru Park even louder on this Sunday. I don't care what the weather looks like. I don't care if the game's starting a little bit later. I really do believe we can make that atmosphere even louder against Nashville. Well, you guys asked for him. Joining me again on the podcast is somebody that probably agrees with me about the stadium can be louder against Nashville. And I believe he's the first person to appear on back-to-back-to-back podcast. He is the Sons of Ben Capo, the founder of Union Happy Hour, Jarrett Nisly. And Jarrett, how are you, man?
I'm doing great. I was going to ask you if I'm the first person to appear on 3 straight podcasts, but, I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to talk Union soccer and get people psyched up again. I want to give the people what they want to hear.
Yes, exactly. And look, I'm happy if people listen to the Twitter Spaces episode. You were kindly graced us with your presence for like 10 minutes and your voice was gone. Like you can admit that. And I think all of our voices were gone, but we're all ready. And like I said, hopefully we're all getting energized on Thanksgiving so we can all bring the noise on Sunday against Nashville. But I know, like I said 10 seconds ago, you talked a little bit about New York Red Bulls. And I do want to talk about that game just a little bit more before we talk about the Orlando-Nashville game and then this upcoming Sunday game. So last episode, we had people give all their thoughts on Twitter Spaces about that Jacob Glesnes goal, the camera angles, man, from different people around the stadium, the whole stadium angle. But I think my favorite video from that game was the video that Kim got right up close in person with the whole team, watching Jim Curtin kick the barrier, watching Paxton Aronson yell, "Let's go!" Just so many emotions in that video. And then on top of all that, you have Bros, who I believe he took a smoke bomb, put it into an air blower, and it just made the yellow smoke bombs go everywhere. And that was such an awesome picture. It was so awesome in the river and just seeing the yellow smoke go everywhere. And then the tifo on top of that was amazing. And I don't think we've had a full river end tifo in quite some time. So that was awesome to have every single section in the river end have a tifo in it.
Yeah, I didn't get a great look at the rest of the tifo. I mean, I could see the one that was right above 137, but I didn't have a great line of sight, like even in the pictures on the other one. But props to Bros and everyone who helped out with that. Is really cool. I'm always envious of like teams like Seattle and Portland and LAFC and Sporting Kansas City of their tifo game. But yeah, the environment was insane. I've watched so many videos. I think I've done a screen recording of 3 of the videos just so I can have them forever. I mean, I could literally talk this entire podcast about that game because I don't have the words right now, but I could just go on and on and on because it was just absolutely incredible what we all witnessed.
Yeah, I don't think any of us really had the words when I went live on Twitter Spaces. Like, I think we were all trying to process what we just witnessed, and especially, it was the last kick of the game. If that ball would have went out for a goal kick, and then Cornell would have taken his time, and then the ref would have blown, and we were going into penalties. And I don't know how you felt, Jarrett, if we would have went into penalties, but I was like, yeah, we're losing this thing in penalties, because anytime the Philadelphia Union get a penalty, we know the history in the stadium of the penalty shootouts. They have not gone our way, and I remember just the Jamiro Montero penalty in the river end. I was like, Jamiro's got to score this, all the momentum. And I was debating with myself, I don't think I can watch this. I'm like, yeah, let me watch this. And then Ochoa makes a save, and Mike Borton, I think, actually posted a video a couple days ago where I don't even think I realized that Ochoa made the save and the ball still hit off of the crossbar. I didn't realize that during the game, and then I saw this video and I was like, yeah, like it's crazy just that power that Jameer Montero got on that, and Ochoa was able to make the save and still keep the ball out with all that power. And so because of that moment, I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to watch these penalties. And if we went into them, I wasn't going to feel good at all. I think for my penalties, I would have taken Sergio, although he scares me because we've seen Sergio miss a penalty in the past. Daniel Gazdag, obviously. And Jacob Glesnes, I think, would have been an ideal candidate for a penalty. Jack Elliott, and then probably Jack McGlynn. I know Corey Burke, you probably would have liked for him to take a penalty kick, but then he took that knock near the end of the game. So who knows if he would be able to take a penalty. But yeah, if we went into penalties, I was not ready for that at all.
Yeah, and we may have had a wild card there because I don't know if you saw, but someone said that in training that week, Andre Blake hit a banger. So like obviously like your first five is not to have your goalie take it, but it's like one of those like wild cards up your sleeve. You're like you're all set and like you're like, all right, like the fifth penalty taker is going to come down. All of a sudden, like you see Blake walk over the corner. You're like, wait, what's going on? And throws everything off. So, like I think that would have been pretty cool. But no, like you, I was not feeling very confident about penalties. I remember turning to Jess Gussler like multiple times, just being like, I'm scared. I don't think I vocalized it to anybody, but like in my head, I was like, the game's going to penalties, and I was really wanting the penalties to be taken on our end just so we could try and have an effect. But like in my heart, I knew it was going to end up being taken on the other side. So yeah, I did not have a good feeling about penalties. I think that I don't know. Like I want to be confident and say that Andre Blake could have stepped up, but like it's a coin toss. Like it's 50-50. So like it's just not like a super great feeling.
Yeah, it's not. And especially like you see Casper miss a chance. You see Sergio Santos miss a chance in the game. You see Corey Burke miss a chance. And it's like, man, just like we played good. And I think ultimately the better team won the game. Just took a spectacular goal by Jacob Glesnes, who, by the way, won Team of the Week honors for FIFA, which is awesome. So if anybody plays FIFA, I'm sure that's a card everybody's going
99 shooting.
Which is insane, right? I think his volleys are up there too, but 62 shot? Like, come on, man. That should be at least a 70-something. And
yeah.
Man, but look, happy to see Jacob Glesnes get a Team of the Week card. That's the second Union player this season who has a Team of the Week card, Andre Blake and Jacob Glesnes. But I don't know if anything is going to top that Sergio Santos card. If people played FIFA last year, Sergio's Team of the Week card last year was special when he scored that hat trick against Toronto. But I don't know if you guys play FIFA or not, so you guys might not want us talking about FIFA. I know Jared and I played a little bit of pro clubs last year with Kyle. Shout out to Kyle last year, and yeah, FIFA's a good time. But yeah, that game just when you watch all three of your strikers miss a goal, it doesn't
sitters.
Bode well. Yeah, you're right. They were absolutely sitters, and just disappointing to see not one of those guys could put the ball in the back of the net. At least Sergio, I guess, put it on target, right? Casper just wasn't having his day.
But the moment we got was so much better than any of those goals could have given us. So, like, as much as it pains us to not see our strikers score, like, having that moment, like, that's something that we'll remember forever. Like, if Santos had scored the goal that he kicked into Cornell's crotch, if Casper hadn't skied it, if Burke hadn't gotten crunched, it's a tap-in. Like, it's a goal you expect to score. We got the unexpected instead. And I think that's the reason that goal and that game will forever live on in Union lore.
Oh, absolutely. Watching Jim Curtin and the whole coaching staff just run with the players. Oh,
that kick.
I know. Like, to hear the thud of that, man. I mean, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, you guys got to go on Twitter. I'm sure you guys have seen it.
How have you not seen it at this
haven't
point?
You seen it? Exactly, right? I mean, it's, man, just the emotions, just watching that. And to see Elvis Powell, Paxton Aronson step up for Beiser and Montero, who we found out apparently they came in contact with somebody who tested positive for COVID. Miro today practiced with the team. He was pictured in the training. So I guess Jameer is going to be good to go. Beiser, who knows? But it's good to see Elvis Powell had a good game. Paxton Aronson also had a good game. And, man, that kid's special. And we saw the same thing with Brendan Aronson, right? I think Marco Fabian was suspended or something when Brendan Aronson got his first start against Atlanta, and ever since he had that start, it's like, man, like Marco Fabian can't get his spot back. Like this kid, Brendan Aronson, he's special, and we do have two special players in Jameer Montero and Daniel Gazdag, but yeah, we can tell we have another special one in Paxton Aronson, and I feel like, man, if Jim can find a way to play all three of those guys, he definitely would, but look, having a player that we know can start in Paxton Aronson or a guy like Paxton Aronson can come off the bench and change a game, we'll take it, right? Because how many teams in the playoffs right now can say that, yeah, we have game changers on the bench, and I think we definitely had that with Paxton Aronson. I know El Senior was on the bench last game, even though we didn't get to see him. Who knows what he still has left in his tank, but I would like to think El Senior is probably one of the best dribblers in MLS still, even at his age. He might not be the fastest guy, but oh man, just there's a reason his 5-star skill moves on FIFA, right?
Yeah.
Going back to FIFA. But yeah, just overall, what a great night, and it's a moment that none of us will forget.
Yeah, let's do it again on Sunday. Like I said on Twitter, I was like Saturday we turned it up to 11. Sunday, let's crank it up to 15.
I think we can. I honestly do. Like I said, I mean, the weather, I think I saw 44 for a high. There's a chance of rain and potential snow, 35% chance. 5:38 to be exact kickoff. We're going to have no sun, so it's just going to get colder and colder. But look, I believe, because look, we saw the atmosphere from the first minute. Look, you guys started the atmosphere marching into the stadium. I saw some videos this week. I promise I will join the march with you guys. Traffic was chaotic going into the stadium, leaving the stadium. But the videos that came out of the march, you guys were loud, and you guys just carried that momentum, that loudness into the stadium, and it showed from the first minute, and just everybody was just so amped for that moment, and I really do believe we can bring that again on Sunday. But last couple things I want to bring up about the New York Red Bulls game is, last episode you talked about how you thought Sergio Santos had to have a big game for the Union. Played 59 minutes off the bench. So, I mean, how do you think Sergio Santos played, even though he missed that sitter?
I mean, I think he did what we needed them to do. Like I said, he played that El Senior role. He came on a little later in the second half and was able to use that speed to tire already tired defenders. And I mean, I like to think that helped play a role in the goal. I don't really know, because it wasn't really like an attacking goal. It was kind of like it was off the run of play. So like he played again. He didn't have like a great game, but he did the job that we needed him to do. He came in and he ran hard, and he set up chances, and that kind of I think having that helped build that sustained pressure, which ended up leading to the goal. Because I felt like leading up to that free kick, we had like one or two corners, but it was one of those I kept turning to my girlfriend. I'm like, it's coming. I can feel it coming. Like you could feel it with the energy on the field. You could feel it from the energy in the crowd. Like you knew it was coming. So and that's kind of what the El Senior role is he is there to inject that belief into the team and into the crowd. And I think that's what Santos did. We saw that we were able to get attacks going, which for a lot of the game we didn't see. I felt like a lot of the game that we were playing defensively and kind of waiting for our moment and picking and choosing, which has kind of been the Union's MO, but it felt a little more extra. And we usually see a little more attacking when we play at home.
Yeah, I mean, both teams were playing, that conservative style of soccer, where both teams didn't want to mess up because they knew that both teams were good enough to hit each other on the counterattack. Just like the Klamala, they played that ball over the top of Jack Elliott and Jacob Glesnes, and thank God for Andre Blake coming up huge with a save. I thought it was offsides, and who knows if it would have been ruled off for offsides, because, he had some space between him and Jack Elliott. But, Andre Blake had the one big save that he needed to make, and then Kyle Duncan on the other end hit the post. I'm like, Jesus, you can tell there was tired legs out there. And to your point, that's exactly why we brought on Sergio Santos, and I think that's why New York Red Bulls brought on defensive options, because Sergio Santos was just tiring out that back line for the New York Red Bulls. And they were just hoping that, okay, they can do enough to shut down Sergio Santos and the attack, and Well, it took a spectacular goal from Jacob Glesnes, and just what a goal! I don't think we've seen a better goal in Subaru Park, and maybe it comes this Sunday. Maybe it does.
I would hope so. Listen, like as exciting as it was to have like that one moment of glory, I want a bunch of moments of glory, man. I don't want to have to go through this again. It's a 5:30 on a Sunday. I didn't take PTO for the next morning, so I'm gonna need them to take care of business so I can go straight home and go to bed, because like if we have to go into extra time again, it's gonna start getting late.
It is.
And Monday morning after a holiday is not fun. Now, granted, I still have to work Fridays, but it's gonna be like a half day. But still, like it's everyone's in vacation mode, so like it's just gonna suck. So just like let's just take care of business, please.
Yeah, everybody waited until we got to Thanksgiving. And now everybody's focus is on Thanksgiving, eating that nice meal, and then the playoff game on Sunday. So, like, nobody's thinking about work. It's Thanksgiving, Union game.
Yeah, I mean, my mind's already on Sunday. What's Thanksgiving? It's game day right now, folks. I'm like you can't see me, but I'm staring you right in the eye, and I'm telling you, it's game day. You best get ready, because some of you don't like you're done working for the week. You ain't got nothing. Like you're just chilling. So in your mind, it's game day. It's time to start getting ready. You wanted the hype again. Listen, I'm gonna bring it. Like I'm gonna get you hype before the game. That's why we're recording this on a Wednesday and not a Friday, like Todd's other option. I said that's not enough time to get people hype. I was like, we gotta get them hype early.
Yep, exactly. So we're giving you guys plenty of time. But last thing about the New York Red Bull game, my 3 keys to the game, I said limit the turnovers in the midfield. Both teams were in the top 8 in pressures in the middle third. I thought that was a pass for the Union. The Union had 77 pressures in the middle third compared to the New York Red Bulls 75. The Union had 15 successful tackles in the midfield compared to the New York Red Bulls 12. Number 2, I said finish your chances. We don't have to talk about this anymore, right? The Union missed 3 big chances. New York Red Bulls missed 2, so that's automatically a fail. And then point number 3, shut down the fullback play. I thought that was a really good job by the Union. Gutman and Duncan both got dribbled by once. Both of them were dispossessed 3 times. And they were 2 for 12 on their crosses, so none of the crosses were dangerous. So the Union did a good job not letting these guys really scare the Union, other than Kyle Duncan's shot on the post near the end of the game. But for 99.9% of the game, the Union shut down Gutman and Duncan. Even though when they brought on Tolkien, he did make a little bit of difference, I thought, for the New York Red Bulls on their, would that be their left side of the field? But,
Yes.
At the end of the day, the Philadelphia Union got the point. Well, not even a point. They got the victory, because there is no points in the playoffs. They got the victory. So we'll take it. And let's just go ahead and talk about that Nashville versus Orlando game. For me, I thought it was a very, very open game, especially in the first half. I thought Mueller and Pereira, I thought they had a lot of space for Orlando City. Daryl Dike comes and scores his 5th straight goal in 5 straight games. Daryl Dike, I mean, I thought he could have had maybe another chance. Walker Zimmerman had his hands full with Daryl Dike, and it wasn't enough for Orlando City, because Hany Mukhtar, who I know we're going to talk about a lot tonight, that guy is just very shifty. He has a great eye for goal. I've said it in the past, and I'll continue to say it. I know he's not going to win it, because the stupid people that vote for MLSsoccer.com, the other people that have votes, are going to vote for Carlos Heel, which, yeah, he's a good player. But look, New England were still winning games when Heel was missing for them. When Hany Mukhtar is not playing for Nashville, what is Nashville without Hany Mukhtar? And we saw last night, he carried Nashville to the victory over Orlando with 2 great goals, and he's a player that scares me. And then just CJ Sapong, and it was really good with his hold-up play on the night, opened up a lot of space for the midfielders to run into, and I think there's probably a lot of the reasons why Nashville won against Orlando. Just your thoughts from the game last night.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely the game that I wanted to see. I mean, obviously, like I wanted to see Orlando win, so seeing Orlando get that early goal was good. But I was like, can you make the game last longer? I was like, I'd like to see as many people like be tired as we could. So I was like, okay, it was like at least Orlando scored, and then Nashville scored right back, and I was like, great. Or like right back to 0-0, or just like we're just gonna go. But like you said, I thought the game was very wide open, which was exactly what I wanted to see, because that meant that there was a lot of running in the midfield. And I was like, great, tire those legs out, go hard, because you got short rest and you both got to travel. So yeah, I was definitely excited to see that. But Mukhtar definitely scares me. Um, there was a moment. It was the goal that was called back for offsides. Like when that happened, like I tweeted out and I was like, this is exactly why I do not want to play against Nashville, because the way he got the ball in the corner, worked around one and then found his way around another, I think, and then the ball he played in, like it was it was a great play. I can't even like take that from him. Like it was a great play, but I was like, him having that vision is something that I don't like necessarily want to have to compete against. Now, I don't know, like I would think and hope that our defense is better than Nashville's. But it was just one of those, like, I don't know, when you play against a great player, it's hard not to bite. And I feel like that's something that could severely come back to bite us, especially with El Brujo. Like, I don't know if he bites a ton, but it's just like one of those. I feel like Mukhtar can frustrate Brujo, and if Brujo gets frustrated, we're in trouble. But yeah, it was a fun game to watch. I mean, it was a late goal winner. Again, I was really hoping to see it go into extra time to wear those legs down more. I also thought it was very interesting that neither coach subbed until after the 70th minute.
And Nani doesn't get the start and he comes in so late. Like, come on, what?
Well, isn't he coming back from injury?
He might be.
I think I heard something about that. I'm not 100% sure, but I was like, I don't know why either team is not subbing, but I'll take it because I'd rather you run your starters into the ground. Again, I know that I'm being like a huge homer and I just want like every single advantage that we get. And there's some people be like, oh, like we want to play the best team. Like obviously like you want to like beat the best teams, but it's like, I'm also nervous. I really want to win. Like, cause we've had so much turmoil at the Sub. And so it's like, I'd like to just have like a few nice things happen. Like I want to have sustained success for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, me too. And look, we want to play the best teams. Well, Nashville is the better team in Orlando, and Nashville is the best team that we can play right now. And I know a lot of people say that New England's the best team in MLS because of the points record that they broke. But I don't think New England's the best team in the East. I don't think Nashville's the best team in the East either. I think New York City's probably the best team. They're the team that scares me the most, if I'm being honest, because we never match up well against them. I think Nashville, every time they go on the road, and of course I'll bring this up later on again, I'm sure, but like they park the bus, and we saw it when Nashville came to play us the second time we played them this season, where what happened the whole game? They parked the bus, like until we got that penalty kick. They started to attack a little bit more with the midfield, but they were still like picking their moments when they wanted to attack. And I think that's exactly what we're going to see against Nashville. And that's exactly why I didn't want to play against Nashville, because, 120 minutes with Red Bulls where both teams are, like we said, playing conservative, picking their moments when they want to attack, where, you thought New York Red Bulls were playing defensive. Nashville's going to take that up like 10 notches, and we're going to get annoyed. We're going to see a ton of fouls from Nashville. I mean, we saw it last time when we played Nashville. And we had one win this season, one loss. And both of those games against Nashville both ended with a scoreline of 1-0. And if it wasn't for CJ Sapong scoring the second minute in Nissan Stadium, then maybe that game could have ended scoreless. I mean, we had our moments in that game. I believe Sergio Santos had a wide open look and got blocked, I believe it was. I know Leal, Mukhtar, they both had chances in this game. CJ Sapong had a chance to get a brace, but we hung with Nashville in Nissan Stadium. The good thing is we're playing at Subaru Park. We're not playing on that horrible field that the Titans play on, because that field was not fun to look on, to see the whole big Tennessee Titans logo in the middle of the field, to see how just beat up that field was from football. When we played Nashville, I believe back in July, football wasn't going on. It was just Nashville playing on the field. And now you add soccer and football on that field, yeah, it's going to get tore up really, really fast, which at the same time, too, I do give Nashville credit, because you see Atlanta United playing on turf. You see Seattle Sounders playing on turf. You see New England playing on turf. Like, at least Nashville says, we're going to play on grass. Even though we have a football team, we're going to play on grass, because I hate when we play on turf. I think soccer needs to be played on grass, but that's another discussion for another day. I can go on and on forever why I hate turf, but I don't think this is the podcast for that. But look, when we went down to Nissan Stadium, we played a 4-4-2 diamond, and the whole game plan was to get that early goal and to have Leal, Mukhtar, and Sapangu 1v1 against our defenders. They hit us on the counterattack 4 times, and those 4 times that they hit us on the counterattack, they had 3 shots from it. Now, when they came to Subaru Park, they had no counterattacks. They barely attacked us, I felt like. None of their attacks scared me. None of their chances were big chances missed or anything. No big chances created. It's just like they were hoping that they would score a goal off of a corner kick because they have some big guys to aim at on set pieces, but none of their chances scared me when they came to Subaru Park. And look, I really do suspect that we'll see Nashville play the exact same way they played against us when they came to Subaru Park. Maybe a little bit more defensive because, look, we all know the playoffs, it's win or go home. It's not the 2 legs anymore, which I don't know how you feel, Jared. I'm sure you probably like the whole 1 leg and you're done, not the 2 legs. I think a lot of fans would agree with that, but we're in for a super defensive battle, more defensive than what we saw against New York Red Bulls, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll see a little bit of a change because, just look at their record. It just looks like they were playing for draws the entire season, and we're at the point in the season where you can't do that anymore. And so I have a feeling that because again, I wouldn't say they were defensive, but I wouldn't say they were super defensive against Orlando last night. So they have to go for it at this point. They can't just sit back because I truly believe that if Nashville sits back, we will straight up just take it from them. Because if again, just like we saw against Red Bull, if we have sustained pressure and the crowd gets going, it's just gonna be a smash and grab. Hey, I'm all for that, but I would not be surprised to see, especially since Nashville is on the road, and they know, and everyone knows at this point that the Subaru is a tough place to play. I feel like it would be dumb for their game plan to be all right, we're gonna go in, we're gonna sit back. I understand that when you're the home team wanting to sit back, absorb the pressure, and then be all right, we go. But I just don't think that's necessarily a smart play. Nashville, don't listen to this podcast. You don't listen to my tactics. I don't think that would be a smart thing to do. Again, I am not paid for this kind, to make these kind of decisions. So I may be way off base, but that's just my opinion that in the playoffs, it doesn't bode well to necessarily go in with a fully defensive mindset.
Yeah, I mean, throughout the playoffs, we've seen pretty much every single road team minus, I would say, Orlando City, because from the first minute, Orlando City were right at Nashville trying to attack them. Because look, I'm sure nobody stayed up to watch that Real Salt Lake Seattle game. 0 shots the whole game, 120 minutes. 0 shots for Real Salt Lake. You want to talk about parking the bus? I think we've seen a lot of road teams just park the bus when they go into the home team stadium. Just 18 draws, 12 wins. I don't know. I mean, I definitely get what you're saying and everything. If I'm a manager, I'm probably saying, yeah, attack a little bit more. But I think this is just the way that Nashville's built to play, is to sit back and hit you on the counterattack, because Leal and Mukhtar are their 2 fastest players on the team. And we saw that in Nissan. Now, Hany Mukhtar didn't play against us the second time we played Nashville. But Leal, they were still trying to get him the ball, and he has pace. And Hany Mukhtar, a lot of people are asking, okay, how confident are you in the Philadelphia Union stopping Hany Mukhtar? Well, I mean, I pulled up his stats, and again, we talked last 2 episodes ago where, okay, stats don't mean anything, right? But I mean, his stats weren't that impressive against the Union. 89 minutes played, 50 touches, 2 key passes, only 1 shot, which was on target. 1 out of 3 successful dribbles, 5 ball recoveries, 6 times dispossessed. That was the most for any Nashville player. Honestly, Liam Flock and El Brujo were constantly aware of where Hany Mukhtar was. Now, the bad thing about that is sometimes Liam Flock and El Brujo would both commit to Hany Mukhtar, which means that Leal was open. And now you're having Kai Wagner go one-on-one versus Leal. And how well do you think the Union can go one-on-one against Hany Mukhtar, against Liao, against CJ Sapong? And spoiler alert, that's my number one key to the game is 1v1 defending, which I'll get into that more later. But, for the most part, the Philadelphia Union shut down Hany Mukhtar. I mean, look, we saw last night against Orlando City. Now, the Philadelphia Union's defense and midfield is not what Orlando City's is. Theirs is 10 times worse than the Philadelphia Union's. But I think the first goal came from a pressure from Hany Mukhtar, and then he hits the ball perfectly. And yeah, it takes a deflection, but Hany Mukhtar knew exactly what he was doing. And then the second goal was just brilliance. Took on 3-4 players. Do we have any players that we trust in 1v1 defending against Hany Mukhtar? I do think so, but unlike the New York Red Bulls, where we said neither one of these teams have a killer player, here's a killer player that can make a difference in Hany Mukhtar. So just how confident are you, Jared, that the Philadelphia Union can stop him?
I'm decently confident because I'm assuming they trained today because there was photos. So I'm assuming the game plan for today was shut down Mukhtar. I have a feeling that we're gonna have someone who is going to be sticking to his side. I want to guess Brujo. I'm not 100% sure because I feel like he doesn't play high enough the field to have a center back track him. But I would not be surprised if he got doubled a decent amount. I don't know. Again, I'm talking out my butt at this point. But I think we can do it. It wouldn't be the first time that the Union have shut down a player by committee. And yeah, it's gonna be a tough matchup for sure. His play scares me. But I don't know. Words aren't coming to me right now.
No, you're 100% right. You took the words right out of my mouth where you said he's going to get doubled. You're absolutely right. He basically plays on the right side of the field, which means that's Jack Elliott's side. So I can see Liam Flock, El Brujo just switching off, marking him. And then when he gets farther up into the attacking third, then it's Liam Flock / El Brujo and then Jack Elliott. 2 guys on him. And then that means that you're going to leave Jacob Glesnes one-on-one versus CJ Sapong. You're going to have Kai Wagner probably one-on-one versus Liao. There's going to be a lot of 1v1 defending in this game. And I trust the Union defense. I mean, for the most part, we've been solid. And at the same time, too, okay, well, if they're only going to send 4 guys forward, that means the Philadelphia Union are going to have a lot of chances, I believe, going forward at Nashville. We had chances going forward in Nissan Stadium at Subaru Park. And Nashville, they've conceded the fewest goals in MLS with 33, and they've only conceded 13 goals in 17 games played on the road this season, which is good for 0.7 goals per game. The number would be much lower if they didn't concede those 3 goals versus Cincinnati in that crazy game that was 6-3. I remember Union fans, I think we were all watching that game okay, look, the pressure's off of us to finish second. If Cincinnati can hold on to this win, we all know that didn't happen. And Nashville choked at the end of the season where we were able to get into the second spot. And I know Gary Smith, after the game last night, was complaining, well, if this was any other league in the world, we know we would be the number 2 team. Well, Gary, if this was any other league in the world, you guys wouldn't have won the championship because nobody else does playoffs but MLS. So I don't know what you're complaining about. Be happy that there's playoffs in MLS. Maybe you should play for the win and not 18 draws because that is absurd. It's there's no relegation, so why are you playing for 18 draws? Just go out and attack. But it's the way that Nashville has the team set up. And if you look on the road, Nashville has 43% possession of the ball on average compared to 49.8 at home. And that just shows you right there, 43% possession on the road. That means they're going to let the Union have the ball. They're going to let the Union come at them and attack because they trust the defenders that much in 1v1 situations that they're fine sitting back on the road. And I don't see why that's going to change. Now, maybe they're going to throw a curveball and hopefully Jim Curtin and the staff I'm not going to say hopefully. Of course, they're preparing for every situation that Nashville can throw at them. And how many teams expected the Philadelphia Union to stick with the 4-3-2-1 formation? I'm sure not a lot because the last couple of years we've been playing nothing but the 4-4-2, but something clicked with that Christmas tree formation, and we stuck with it against New York Red Bulls, and I have a feeling we'll stick with it against Nashville. But get your thoughts with that formation, Jerry. You think we stick with it? Do you want to go back to the Christmas tree formation since Sergio Santos played 59 minutes without getting hurt?
If I could remember what formation we played against them in the 1-0 win, I would probably say that one. Okay. Like I kind of want to stick with that at this point because again we have Miro back, and I think running Miro and Gazdag at dual 10s will bode really well against Nashville, especially if they're planning on letting us have the ball. Because the more that Miro and Gazdag get touches, the more they're able to puppeteer the game. And I think that is extremely crucial for this game, to be able to have them be on the ball as much as possible. So again, Nashville, do not listen to this podcast because I'm helping you. So do not listen to this. But yeah, I think you just got to stick with what's hot. Like, Christmas tree has given you a lot of good results recently. And again, having that spark off the bench, bringing Sergio on in the 60th, 65th minute is going to be super helpful. You're going to have Aronson coming off the bench. I don't know what Elsinho is doing. Do I want him to even touch the pitch? I don't know. But I think that it is, I think I want Christmas tree with Miro and Gazdag. But going back to what you said about what Gary said, if the union is not putting that up, like saying that we should be like, just like how Red Bull's coach like said, I forget exactly what he said, but everyone was like, bulletin board, put it up. Like, this is the same situation. Nashville is saying that they deserve it more than we do. And you absolutely do not if you play for draws. Like, I'm looking at their schedule. I see a lot of gray. And on FootMob, that means draws. Like, since the beginning of September, they have won 4 times. 4 times since the beginning of September, excluding the playoff game. And those wins were NYCFC, Montreal, Inter Miami, and Cincinnati. So, like, not great. I mean, NYCFC is a good win, but, like, Montreal's out of the playoffs. Miami's out of the playoffs. Cincinnati has the wooden spoon. So, like, those aren't great results. Meanwhile, you lose to Toronto, you tie Chicago, you tie NYCFC, you tie DC United, you tie Columbus, you lose to us, you tie Orlando, and you tie Red Bull. Like, that's a lot of, like, I don't know how anybody in their right mind can say, oh, well, we deserve, like, yes, if you're playing the European style of soccer, sure, you get the tiebreaker over us. This ain't Europe. This is the American game. We do things a little bit differently. We value wins.
We do. I mean, it would be great. Like, so many teams that are fighting relegation would take draws. Like, they would take Gary Smith as the manager. If Gary Smith has a great game plan to get you a draw, which it seems like he does, 18 draws, then maybe Gary Smith is your Big Sam. Because look, they're both English, so maybe some teams in the Premier League are looking at the teams fighting relegation, and it's like, okay, let's go ahead and not call him Big Sam this time. Let's call him Gary Smith because he'll get you some draws. And yeah, Gary, I mean, if you want promotion, relegation, if you want to fight for those draws, then you've got to leave this league because draws don't cut it out. And just complaining about that, like, I don't understand. Like, you set your team up this way. Like, you're the only one to blame for this. Like, if you want your team playing a different way, then have them play more attacking on the road.
If you wanted this game to be at Nissan, you should have beat Red Bull, but you didn't. You drew. You gave up the first goal. You had so many opportunities to finish second, and you said, "Nah, Philly, here you go."
Yeah, we blew it.
So thank you.
Yeah, we blew our chance. And
we did.
We had the keys to stay in that position. We blew our chance. And then, okay, we're like, here you go, Nashville, it's all you. And then you guys blow your chance. It's like, who are you getting mad at? We gave you guys this golden opportunity. All you guys had to do was beat New York Red Bulls at home. At home. You guys were playing at home, and you guys drew against New York Red Bulls. Now, granted, the New York Red Bulls had a lot to play for to get into the playoffs, but you're at home. Like, how are you struggling at home against a team that's struggling to get in the playoffs? Now, granted, you guys heard Jared and I talk about how hot the New York Red Bulls were coming into the playoffs, but still, you're at home. Like, the Philadelphia Union don't do that at home. They don't play for a draw at home. They play for the win. And I think that's part of the reason why the Philadelphia Union, I believe they have 14 wins at home. I'll have to go and check that. Sounds about right. But, yeah, I mean, just like Gary Smith, what are you complaining for? This is on you, not the Philadelphia Union. This is on you. And I'm sure, look, I'm sure your players don't even want to play on that field at Nissan Stadium. Like, that field is horrible. Like, I'm sure they're counting down the days until they get their brand new stadium, which, if you guys missed it, the Philadelphia Union next year, May 1st or 5th? 1st. They open up their new stadium. So I'm sure a lot of Sons of Ben, I'm sure a lot of Philadelphia Union fans are going to try to get tickets for that game to see a brand new stadium and hopefully to give Nashville some bad memories and their very first time in that stadium. But again, we talk about that, potential future games, but let's focus on the present, which is Nashville. Just some more random stats I want to give out real quick for Nashville, and then we'll begin to wrap up this podcast. Nashville, their leading goal scorers are Hany Mukhtar, 16 goals in 31 games, 10 assists. CJ Sapong, 12 goals in 33 games, 4 assists. Randall Leal, 8 goals in 31 games, 7 assists. And then I was looking at a whole bunch of their like miscellaneous stats, and I'm like, none of their guys are like in the top 10 other than Hany Mukhtar in attacking stats. Like, none of their stats matter. So I'm like, I really don't want to look up stats, and I really don't have any miscellaneous stats because they're not worth talking about. I mean, you have Gadai, who's 24th in MLS in tackles, 46. 24th, like that's not good. Tied 68th in interceptions with 50. That's not good. Walker Zimmerman's also tied in 68th with 50 interceptions. Like, none of those stats jump out on me. Like, the New York Red Bull stats, like, jumped out at me, seeing how they finished in 7th, and they had a lot of guys in the top 10 in MLS stats where you can't find that for Nashville, except for Hany Mukhtar in the offensive stats. But just looking at their record, Jared and I have talked about this a lot. 12 wins, 18 draws, 4 losses. 2 wins, 1 loss, 7 draws. Jared talked about that a little bit in the last 10 games. 4-game unbeaten streak that includes the victory over Orlando City with a win, draw, win. 4 draws against playoff teams, including a 0-0 versus New York City, which I thought this game at first was played in Yankee Stadium. No, they drew against New York City at Red Bull Arena, which I guess is impressive. But I was going to give them even bigger props if it was at Yankee Stadium, because, like, you expect New York City to score in Yankee Stadium. And so for it to be at Red Bull Arena, I'm like, maybe that's not that impressive. 16 goals for, 5 goals versus Miami, 6 versus Cincinnati, so that really skews that number a lot. And 10 goals against. They had 3 clean sheets in the last 10 games. A 4 wins, 9 loss, 4 draw away record. 19 goals for, 13 goals against. 8 out of 17 games Nashville went without scoring a goal on the road. I'll repeat that one more time. 8 out of 17. 8 out of 17. They don't score on the road. Most goals scored on the road this season were 6, like I just said, against Cincinnati. Hany Mukhtar has 5 goals on the road. And the last road loss came against Philadelphia Union, which ended 1-0, as we all know. I mean, like, I just gave you guys stats. I know I didn't give a ton, but, like, nothing stands out on the paper other than Hany Mukhtar. And I really do believe if we can shut down Hany Mukhtar, there's no reason why the Philadelphia Union don't win this game. I'm not giving predictions because you guys know I haven't done it the last couple of episodes, and fingers crossed, things have went our way. But you guys shouldn't be scared. And I was telling Jared, like, I was scared, but then I started thinking about this game a little bit more throughout the day. I'm like, I'm not scared of Nashville. I'm really not scared of Nashville.
Yeah. I mean, I think, and it's not really a stat that you talked about, but it's like looking at the games. I think the game that stands out the most is the 6-3 win over Cincinnati. And yeah, you can say they scored 6 goals, but were they down 3-1 I think they were down 3-1 to Cincinnati, the worst team in the league. I don't know what Cincinnati was doing, but if the Union can somehow replicate that, it's a wrap. Because I can guarantee you, like, if I don't think the Union are going to score 3 goals, but if they can score multiple goals against this team, like, Nashville's not going to be able to do anything because we have a far better defense than Cincinnati. They're not just going to be like, oh, we're 2-0 up or we're 2-1 up or like or whatever. Like they're not just going to shut off. Like this is a team, especially like after last year ended. It's like it's got to be pedal to the metal at all times. Obviously backing off every now and then, but like this team will not give up a lead the way that Cincinnati team. So I think the fact that they've let in 6 goals to Cincinnati, granted it was in Cincinnati, so you had a little bit of a home field advantage, whatever home field advantage that Cincinnati has. But yeah, that result sticks out to me the most. And on top of like all the other games that you look at, because in my mind, that is like, yes, it is a win, but that is a poor result.
It is. I mean, they concede 3 goals against
in the first half.
Yeah, in the first half too. I mean, I guess credit to them. They woke up at halftime, but it's Cincinnati, for crying out loud. Like the only thing they have to play for is their jobs, and yeah, that is a lot to play for. I say it like so nonchalantly that they only have their jobs to play for. It's a lot to play for, right? But it's not like Cincinnati was fighting to get into the playoffs. They're looking for a win in their stadium, and they thought they had it, at least in the first half against Nashville, and then Nashville wakes up. But I do agree. I mean, that is a little bit concerning, I think, if you're a Nashville fan, to see that you gave up 3 goals against Cincinnati. Your road performance hasn't been great in MLS. You haven't had the best 10 games. But, at the same time, too, I mean, you look and you see when Nashville allows the first goal, they have 3 wins, 3 draws, and 9 losses. And last night they conceded the first goal and they came from behind. So they know how to play from behind. The Philadelphia Union, they haven't been tested in that regard yet to come from behind and win. Now we have, I believe, like 8 draws. I think we talked about 2 episodes ago, something like that. Sounds right. Philadelphia Union have not got a win from behind, and we know somebody has to win in a playoff game. But I'm not scared. I'm really not. And for me, my 3 keys to this game, to a Philadelphia Union victory are, I said it earlier, win your 1v1s. I think Jim Curtin is going to ask a lot of Jacob Glesnes, Jack Elliott, Kai Wagner, whether it's Pal or whether it's Bizo, one of those guys are starting at right back. Jim Curtin is going to ask those guys to go on a lot of 1v1s against Leao, Mukhtar, Sapong. Leon Flock, Brujo, I think, are going to help out, like you said, Jared. There's going to be a lot of double teams on Mukhtar. But whenever you get those opportunities to go 1-on-1 against those front 3 for Nashville, you've got to win those battles. You got to win those duels. Number 2, capitalize on set pieces. Nashville gave up the 8th most fouls in MLS this season, while they've conceded 12 goals from set pieces this season. The Philadelphia Union have drawn the 24th fewest fouls, so the Philadelphia Union don't get a lot of fouls, but Nashville, they foul a lot of times. And so if it's in dangerous areas, we've seen the Philadelphia Union score 16 goals from set pieces this season. That is up there in the top 5 most set pieces scored this season for MLS teams. Ever since Frank Leist has came into the Philadelphia Union this season, they look deadly on pretty much every single corner, every single set piece, and Nashville, they've conceded 11 set pieces this season, while the Union have conceded 9. The Philadelphia Union don't give up a lot of set pieces. They score a lot of set pieces. I do think this game's going to come down to whichever team scores a set piece is going to win this game. Now, I could be wrong, but I really do think this game is just set up perfectly for a set piece, especially watching what our strikers did against New York Red Bulls. And then point number 3, take away all angles for Nashville to score outside the box, because Nashville, they have 9 goals from outside of the box. That is tied for the second most out of all teams in the playoffs right now. Now, the Philadelphia Union, they haven't given up a goal outside of the penalty area this whole season. Fingers crossed, Jared. Fingers crossed, and I'm not jinxing that, because anytime I bring up like a crazy stat, it happens. And so I'm really hoping that doesn't happen against Nashville. Hany Mukhtar, he has scored outside the 18 against Orlando. We saw that on Tuesday. So they just continue to have players score from outside the 18, and Philadelphia Union, they shut down teams that do that. But if the Philadelphia Union can do all three of those, I think that guarantees a Philadelphia Union victory. But like I said, I think it's going to come down to who capitalizes on set pieces, because I think we're going to see a lot of set pieces this game. But I'm just so hyped. And the last thing I will say about this game is we have a chance to make history with a win here on Sunday. Our first time ever playing in the Eastern Conference Final, if we get this win on Sunday. That should get you guys excited because, yeah, we hosted New England last year in the semifinals at home. And, yeah, we could have been playing in the finals at home and then the MLS Cup finals at home. It didn't go our way. Okay, look, that's in the past, but we control our destiny to have we finished in second. We won at these home games. And, look, we got the win against New York Red Bulls. Now we have Nashville at home. We got the 2 home games that we wanted. And we could potentially get a third home game with New York City beating New England. We've set ourselves up the best that we can. And look, I was nervous when it was determined last night that we would be playing Nashville. We know it's going to be a hard defensive game. We've talked about that, just like the Red Bull game. But it should make you guys excited that we are this close. I know you guys can't see it. We are this close to making history. And that should excite you guys. And Jared brought up a good point earlier where, we don't want to have these sad moments. We don't want to have like this Jacob Glessis moment. We want to have these moments more frequently. And I know if other people are listening to this podcast that are fans of other teams, like, why are you guys like holding on to the Marco Fabio moment? Why are you guys holding on to this Jacob Glessis moment? Look, we know we don't have a lot to hold on to, but I really believe that we have something special with this team this year. And we are close. We are so close to creating history. And I don't think there's a clear-cut winner in MLS this season. And I don't know how you guys feel about that, but look, New England doesn't scare me. We match up very well against them. Nobody in the Western Conference scares me. We saw Real Salt Lake take out Seattle last night. That's the only team in the Western Conference that scared me was Seattle. They're knocked out on penalties. You guys should get excited. You guys should be up for this game. There's a chance that we can still host MLS Cup if Real Salt Lake goes all the way. If New England loses to Philadelphia Union or if they lose to New York City. Like, there is a chance, people. And that little bit of hope should get you excited. I know it gets me excited. And I've said it before. I'll say it again. The environment that the Suns have been, that the Keystone State Ultras, and not even just them, that every single person in that stadium on Saturday made, you guys made the difference in that game. And if you guys bring that energy again on Sunday against Nashville, we're going to have a victory.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of stole one of my points. I mean, which is fine. But like last week, my thing to get you excited was it's Red Bull. Like, if you're not excited for Red Bull in playoffs, like, I don't know what to do. This time we get a chance at history, like you already said. Like, you saw what we did as a fan base. We can do that again. And the celebration is going to be that much bigger knowing that we're going to a conference final. A conference final, people. Those words have never been uttered in Philadelphia Union. Like, this is a possibility, except for last year where we weren't even fools. So we'll just scrap that for the record. Don't even talk about that. This is a legitimate shot at a final. Now, I know that we don't have great histories in finals, but this is not that team of old. We don't have to worry about Andrew Ranger running out of bounds anymore. This is a brand new team. Get hype, folks, because this team needs us. I need you. We had some struggle because we were without some megaphones for a little bit. I'm hoping that will be rectified this time. I don't know. Regardless, megaphones or not, I'm gonna need you. Like, we did really well not having megaphones. It was loud, and we're gonna need that again. Like, you don't gotta work tomorrow. Well, whenever this is coming out, you're not working Thursday. Most of you probably aren't working Friday, and you're gonna have a down day on Saturday. You got 3 days of rest from right now from this recording. You got lots of downtime. You don't got to worry about work. Some of you may have to worry about work, and to you, I apologize. That really sucks. However, the majority of you do not have to work. So I need you guys well rested. I need you ready to go. Like, it's going to be a party. Like, we're going to have, I'm hoping for another massive march in. Like, it was a solid march in. Like, we had people joining in, like casual, like not casual fans, but Sons of Ben people, like joining in from like the plaza. We had people joining in from in the stadium. We had people taking videos. It was fun. It set the tone for the game. And we need to do that again. We need to be behind this team and in Nashville's ear from the go. Like, we're bringing out the poles again. We're banging. Like, I just need it loud. And we can do this. Like, I'm telling you, we can do this. Tickets are flying right now. As of right now, I just counted, there are 18 sections sold out. And I do not think that we were at that point this time last week. I think the River End may have just sold out. The River End sold out on a Tuesday. Like, we didn't even know the opponent. And the game was on Saturday. So it took 3 days for the River End to sell out. It's going to be rowdy. People want to be at this game. I want you to be at this game. I have people who've never been to a Union game before be like DMing me and be like, how much are tickets? And it's just like, we're gaining traction. It's coming. The payoff is coming. And I just need you to keep giving. I know it hurts to just keep giving sometimes, especially everything that the team has been through. But I promise you, it's going to be so worth it once we get that moment. Like, I hope you guys are ready, because I'm ready. I'm getting myself all fired up again. I'm fired up on a Wednesday. I need you fired up and ready to go on a Sunday. Like, I need you, ready to go. Like, yeah, the Birds are playing. Who cares? Like, the game will be on the tailgate, but your mindset, the second you get in that lot, the second you get in your car, is on the Union. That is the sole focus of the weekend. I don't care what college games are on Saturday, and I know there's some big ones. Believe me, I'm a fan of one of the big teams playing, and I know there's a giant game. This game needs to be your priority for the next 4 days.
Yeah, I agree. Spot on. And man, just listening to you talk, oh man, I'm ready. I'm ready to go. Let's have a game right now. Let's all drive up to Subaru Park and let's be loud. Let's pack that stadium out. And look, I don't care what the weather looks like. I really don't care what the weather looks like, because people are. You just gave the ticket watch numbers. The River End sold out in 3 days. Like, people care. People care. People are ready to support this team. They're ready to go to war for this team. And especially watching the team, how hyped they got after they scored that game-winning goal against the New York Red Bulls, to see the players come over to the River End and celebrate with the fans. People can tell that, okay, look, there's a special connection with the players on that field and the fans in the stands. The players need us as much as we need them to perform on the field. Both of us go hand to hand. And, oh, man, just all those videos that I've seen of the march in from, like I said, the beginning, all the angles from the Jacob Gleason School, all that is going through my head right now. And I really do believe that if you just think about this game, don't think about what happens in the New York City versus New England game on Tuesday. Just focus on this game against Nashville. This is history, folks. This is history. This is history. This is history. Eastern Conference Final we had the chance for in our home. We control our destiny. Like, you couldn't have asked for it any better. We control our destiny in Subaru Park. We know how dominant we are. Nashville doesn't want to play here. You guys heard Jared and I talk about Gary Smith's comments. He does not want to play in Subaru Park because he knows the atmosphere that you, the listener, create in that stadium. And if you bring that energy, you bring that passion, you're going to be a part of history again.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it any better. I'm excited. I was feeling nervous last night, and I was feeling nervous as we started recording, but as we started talking, the confidence just grew. And I think as we get closer and closer, and once we start gathering a lot, the confidence is going to grow, and as it grows, the energy is going to grow, and I just cannot wait to feel just everything. It's going to be I don't know if the team has anything planned, because because like we've never had to play home playoffs in a season. This is new. The teams never had to be like they've done the T-shirts twice. They did the card thing over the weekend too. I don't know what they're gonna do. They might not do anything. We already had the largest tifo. What can we do now? Like I don't know what we're gonna do, but like it doesn't matter. The pregame festivities doesn't matter. The pregame festivities has absolutely no. They're fun, but they have absolutely no effect on the game, other than like I don't know. Maybe some people get a little more excited about that stuff, which is cool. Like I mean, like it's cool to see, but like it's all in the heart. Like if we believe in this team, the team will believe in themselves. Like we can't quit on this team. Again, even if we go down one, we cannot quit. But like as we talked about last week, like our stats aren't great coming from behind. So we don't want to have to do that. But again, like at no point can we let the energy drop, because I feel like the second we let the energy drop in the stadium, that's the Nashville's gonna be like, all right, it's our time. So it's like I need all of you to give me a hard 90. Again, I know that's a lot to ask 2 weeks in a row for two important games.
But it's history. It's history on the line.
It's history. Like, don't you guys want to be a part of history? Don't you want to say that you were there to see the Union clinch a final appearance in the MLS Cup playoffs?
First time ever.
Like, first time ever. First time ever. You could be there for the first time. This is the first. I missed the Union's first. I was not at the Union's first home game. I remember that to this day. Do you want to look back and be like, I miss seeing them qualify for the final? You don't want that. Please, like, come out. Please. Like, there's already, speaking of which, there's a giveaway going on. Legally Stephen on Twitter. He bought tickets, the pay as we play. He's also a photographer, and he was given credentials. So he's giving away a free River End seat as well as a parking pass. All you have to do is like that tweet and follow him on Instagram. That's not hard. That's all you have to do to get a ticket. Like, and you get to follow a guy who takes cool pictures. So like, just get there, please. I know the River End sold out. I know that's where the fun is, but we need it all over the stadium. Like, the more people we have willing to chant and be loud throughout the stadium, the more the environment will build. And that's what we need. That's what the team needs. Jim has said so many times how much the fans do for this team. And I need you to take that to heart. And I need you to just give it. Like, you saw Jim's celebration. You saw how much this means to him. He knows. He is a fan just like us. Like, we need to give them everything we've got. And I know this podcast is going really long, but I want to fire people up. Like, I want to get you guys excited.
I'm here for it, and I think I'm excited. I'm ready. I told you I'm ready to go right now. Let's drive up to Subaru Park and let's tell Nashville, hey, come into town right now. We're ready to play this game right now.
We're camping outside the stadium.
Yes. Bring heaters though.
Yes.
But the last thing I will say on that point that you just brought up is for the giveaway. Even if you don't win the giveaway, if you're debating, do I want to go to this game? Do I not want to go to this game? But I'm going by myself. It does not matter if you're going by yourself.
Doesn't matter. I'm going by myself.
You want to know why it doesn't matter? Because every single person in that stadium is going for the same exact reason that you're going, to watch the Philadelphia Union. We're all one big family. Once we step foot inside that stadium, we're all there for one reason only. That's to cheer on the Philadelphia Union, to be a part of history, and anything's possible. Anything is possible. Anything is possible.
I promise you, like, you are not going by yourself. You are going with an army. Like, you may not know people, but hey, this is a great opportunity to get to know people. Like, the amount of times that, like, I have just, like, randomly met someone at the game and then, like, gotten connected with them on Twitter, it's happened so many times. You will, like, it is so easy to meet people at a game. Like, again, you are not by yourself. Like, who cares? Like, who cares what other people think if you're going to a game by yourself? It doesn't matter what other people think. You are here to help the team. You are going for the greater good. So, like, what everyone else thinks, Does not matter because you're doing something that is bigger than yourself.
Couldn't have said it any better. Well, if you guys want to follow I must give you the title on number one, but I feel like Adam might say, "Are you out of your mind?" So no, we're gonna say you're number one, and Adam can fight me later. So the number one hype man, because Adam Booth is not on this podcast right now. So the number one hype man for the Philadelphia Union, Jarrett Nisly. If you guys aren't following him on Twitter, Instagram, social medias, where can people follow you, Jarrett?
So I'm most active on Twitter. You can follow me at Nisdog, NISDOG. If you can't remember that, just search hashtag Ticket Watch, and I'm probably the only person who has tweeted Ticket Watch the past 2 weeks. So follow along Ticket Watch. It's fun. I look at the team site and tell you how many tickets are remaining in certain sections and when sections are sold out. You can also follow me on Instagram, which is used less often. Same username, NISDOG, with 18 at the end. You can follow me you can friend me on Facebook, I guess. Don't really use it. Jared Nisly, NISLY.
I'll be sure not to give an E this time.
Yes, no E. But yeah, let's be friends. Let's talk Union soccer. Let me get you excited.
Yeah, I mean, if you're saying, "Oh, I don't have anything in common with you," well, you're listening to this podcast, obviously you do. It's the Philadelphia Union, so there you go. What more do you need?
Boom.
But if you guys aren't following the podcast on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, follow at Free Kick Pod, wherever you get your podcast, the Free Kick Podcast, the website, thefreekickpodcast.com. And, man, if you guys aren't hype, like, I don't know what more Jarrett can do other than driving to your house, pulling you out of your house, making you listening to Maria Like It Loud, Party Till I Die, until you get to the stadium. I don't know. I don't know what more Jarrett needs to do to get you guys hyped, because I am hyped for this game. Hopefully you guys aren't nervous like us, because, look, like, who doesn't want to be a part of history? Like, that's a story you can tell forever. Like, I'll still tell people about the Marco Fabian goal. I was there in that stadium. I was there in the pouring down rain to see Marco Fabian. But look, we don't want to live in the past. We want to live in the moment, and you guys have a chance to be a part of history this Sunday as the Philadelphia Union take on Nashville. But until then, my name is Todd, and this is the Free Kick Podcast.